It can be difficult to know which of your pieces of silver are valuable and which might be worth selling at auction. So Sophia and I thought we'd run through a few of the things that make certain pieces of silver more special than others, and we've taken a few pieces from our forthcoming sale to show you some examples. So this, at first glance, looks to be a fairly ordinary silver-plated stuffing spoon, but it's actually related to Grace Darling's daring rescue of sailors that were shipwrecked off the Farne Islands in 1838. You can see it's engraved here with the name Steamship Forfarshire, and it's the only known example of this kind to exist outside of the Grace Darling Museum in Alnmouth.
Something else that is always popular at auction is novelty silver. Novelty pieces are fun objects. They are very quirky and they show a great deal of workmanship, like these Victorian silver grape scissors in the shape of an harlequin and with the snake loops. Victorians especially had a passion for novelty pieces, and aristocratic and middle-class families in Victorian Britain really enjoyed surprising their guests with something humorous and fun. For example, these Victorian silver table lighters in the form of elephants.
Yeah, they're amazing. We love those. At the other end of the spectrum is this small little Scottish silver quaif. This is special because it's very rare. You don't often see these early 18th century examples, and it's by a maker called Charles Blair, who was more commonly known for making spoons. So it's an unusual and quite special piece of early British silver.
And something else that is quite popular at auction is provincial silver. Provincial silver refers to silver that wasn't stamped in the main assay offices. So sometimes silversmiths didn't travel to assay offices, they were living a bit far or they didn't want to pay duty, and so they tended to stamp their pieces with their own punches. Provincial silver is quite rare and collectible because some of these provincial assay offices are not active anymore. For example, this Greenboat is stamped for Newcastle, and that assay office was only open from 1701 to 1884.
Yeah, that's a lovely piece. Another thing that can help to boost an item's value at auction is interest in provenance. And this is a fun cigarette case that was given by Emperor Haile Selassie to the vendor's father when he was on a state visit to Ethiopia in the 1970s. And we've got copies of various pieces of the kind of events from the programme Royal Visit, which makes this quite a fun and interesting piece of history.
Something else that might be quite appealing for collectors is silver made by a particularly important silversmith. One of the most important silversmiths in Great Britain is Paul Storr. He was the most renowned silversmith in the Regency period. He was very famous for his craftsmanship and he received many royal commissions. And we have two items from him, this cream jug and also this dessert spoon.
Yes, so as you can see, we've got quite a few different spoons on the table. So definitely worth having a look through your drawers at home to see if you've got anything that looks a little bit similar, but you'd be unlikely to find spoons like this. These are very special, and we thought we'd show them for you for two reasons. First of all, if you look closely, you can see that they've got little teapots on the backs of the bowls. So these are Georgian picture-back teaspoons. And aside from the fact that you very rarely see this particular design with the teapot on the back of the spoon, what's also amazing is that we've got a set of 6 of them. Those sets of pieces of silverware are often more valuable than individual ones because over the years, it's fairly rare to find things that have managed to stay together. Often they get split up between families down the generations, or 1 or 2 get lost or something gets broken. So to have 6 of these wonderful spoons in amazing condition, you can see the condition here, the bright cut engraving is fantastic, makes these a pretty rare and wonderful lot in our forthcoming auction.